morning for our ISPs. We did it as well this morning, and I told them, and I'll tell you, if somebody doesn't like Motown, I don't know what to say. So enjoy the musical selections each week when we get our calls off the ground. Let's get into it. So today's presentation, it's week B or topic week. Remember, for anyone that's new on these calls, as we continue to expand our stakeholders, they get invited to these meetings. We have week A, week B, week A, or week 1 is a general office hours session where we open up the floor and give some brief updates, but really it's a session that belongs to you to ask questions on anything that's on your mind related to broadband in Arkansas. And week B or week 2 are the topic meetings, where we try to go through a particular topic that week and help to educate you on what's going on in broadband in Arkansas. And so this week is week B, our topic week, and the topic for today is the Digital Skills and Opportunity Plan. So we'll go through that a little bit. Let me click the next slide. Okay. So brief agenda for today. Some brief updates from the office, 2 quick things. Then we'll go through sort of high level, the Digital Skills and Opportunity Plan, and walk you through what that looks like. We'll talk about the next meeting, which will be 2 weeks from today. We'll have an office hours session on January 26th, and then open up the floor to discussion and take that any way that you'd like. So quick updates from our team over the next few weeks. We will begin planning what we're calling the 2nd annual Broadband County Roadshow. As you can recall, we did it last year, hit all 75 counties in a little less than 4 months. Really proud of that. It was a good time. And we're going to do it again. We think it's worth it. Look, we have about 50 counties to date that have formed your sort of semi-official broadband committees through our office. We still have 25 that haven't, and so we got to go get those folks, make sure they get off the ground and have committees formed. So we're going to go see everybody there. We're going to do it again. For the counties that have had the committees get formed, we'll have sort of a version 2 of the traditional presentation for you, and then focus kind of in on really actionable items. I think we've done a really good job helping folks get organized, but I know there's some confusion still about, okay, what should we really be doing, right? So we'll get into that with the counties that have already organized, but help you through kind of what should we be doing. And then for the 25 other counties that still have to get off the ground, it'll be more kind of that version 1 program from last year, helping to get them off the ground and organized with still some additional action items for them. So we look forward to that. We'll start planning those dates in the next couple of weeks. And so we'll be reaching out, looking to make sure that you're aware, and dates and times and locations, kind of like last year, and we look forward to that. Next week, well, I guess this week first, earlier in the week we had a virtual call that introduced the Digital Skills and Opportunity Plan. It was really a double feature, a 2-part meeting. We talked about the Digital Skills and Opportunity Plan first half, and the second half of the meeting we talked about the challenge process. 2 separate issues, right? One is sort of broadband extras of broadband plus, digital skills, affordability, devices. The second half of the meeting is infrastructure based, and it goes to the challenge process and what that is and how it's involved on that side of the equation. So we hit both topics in these meetings. So next week we'll be doing 3 stops, 1 in Independence County, 1 in Nevada County, and 1 in Pulaski County, to again do the same thing. So the recap email that you receive from Andrew later today, I will have more details about times and locations for those meetings. Okay. All right, so high level this morning, we're going to talk about the Digital Skills and Opportunity Plan. First, let me bring up the website for those that just may not be aware, and that's fine. I'll bring it over here. You should be able to see the website. Andrew, give me a nod if that's correct. Okay, so at broadband.arkansas.gov, that is our current place where we put everything, okay? And so if you look on our homepage, the second post at the moment is about the Digital Skills and Opportunity Plan. It's still in its 30-day public comment period. We're accepting public comments through January 25th, okay? So the plan is available here on this link. Click that. It'll bring up the document for you, okay? Also, the public comment form link is right below it. So after you browse it or read through it some and have some ideas or concepts or thoughts that you'd like to share, positive or negative. We want to make things better, so don't be afraid to leave comments that you think help make the plan better. If that's the case, we'll collect some information from you and have a place for you to describe those comments for us. Okay, so again, both the plan itself and the comment form are on our website, broadband.arkansas.gov, available for you. If you know of folks or even yourself who needs a paper copy, okay, of the plan, let us know. We will print one out and we will mail it to you or to them. So please let us know if that's a need. We will do that for you. We want to be as accessible as possible for everyone. Let me go back to slides. I think that's the right one. I hope so. Yeah, okay. So at a high level, the Digital Skills and Opportunity Planner, we call it DISCO, in our office, was designed in a complementary way to our infrastructure plans, okay? And so, we want to reiterate that no state funds are planning to be used to implement this plan. All activities and programs and grants that flow out of this plan are going to be funded by what's called the Digital Equity Act, or DEA. If you go back to 21, there was a big bill that passed through Congress called the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, or IJA. That act had the BEAD program, that $1 billion, right, for Arkansas to do infrastructure build out. The same act, the same act had a sister program, Digital Equity Act, that focused on other stuff. So if you think about BEAD as being the infrastructure side of things, the DEA, or Digital Equity Act, talked about the broadband extras, or broadband plus, things that are beyond just infrastructure. Remember how we talk about our three pillars, right? One being access. That's the BEAD portion of things. When we talk about our second pillar of affordability and our third pillar of digital skills, that's all covered within this stuff. Okay, so just want to make sure people understand kind of the difference. A little bit of research behind this plan. Look, to gain valuable insight into the divide across the state, one of the things that we did is we developed that Digital Skills and Opportunity Survey. If you can remember that from last year, we had over 12,000 responses from over 500 zip codes across the state, and we did a great job as a state. Not only our office, but you guys and our partners, getting over 12,000 responses to this thing and helping to distribute and let people know about it. You look at Tennessee, our peer state to the east, they only had 700 responses, I think, around to their version of their survey. So Arkansas did a great job as a state from top to bottom, getting word out, and we're all very proud of that, and you should be too. We also facilitated 32 in-person focus groups around the state to make sure that we engaged with our communities. Remember how we talk about covered populations and the 87% number that we've talked about in our presentations numerous times? 8 different covered populations make up that 87%, and our in-person focus groups, were tailored to make sure that we reached out to those 8 focus groups, or 8 covered populations across the state. So that kind of went into the research behind the plan. What we found through that process, obviously we all know there's a lack of reliable broadband infrastructure, right, across the state. There's actually an interesting reliance on mobile access and devices, right, which limits adoption on the home front. We know there are issues with service reliability and slow speeds where infrastructure does exist. There's obviously a divide between urban and rural communities. High service costs due to the lack of competition and options. There is low awareness across the state still about the ACP program. We know there are customer service challenges with some of our providers that we hear a lot on the road from folks, and there are limited opportunities for digital skills training. There are some very interesting digital skills programming and training from different organizations and entities that is already happening in Arkansas. But the opportunities are limited for some of that, and also anything other than English is an issue as well. So we have some work to do there as a state. We set out a vision in the document from all the research that we did and all the data gathering and feedback that we had received. And this is the vision. I'm going to go ahead and read it off of the screen for you guys. So by 2030, the vision is that every person, family, and community in Arkansas, regardless of their location and income, will have access, okay, to affordable, reliable, high-speed internet in their homes, businesses, and community anchor institutions. Have access, okay, to a computer, tablet, or mobile device, and have access to the opportunity to enroll in basic computer skills training, with the overarching goal that every Arkansans can be able to self-determine how they use digital tools and resources to safely and securely participate across all sectors of the economy: education, healthcare, employment, and all important parts of the increasingly online economy and society. Okay? Through all that process, moving forward, there are 5 key goals that we were able to sort of vision out. So goal 1, and a lot of this is common sense. It makes sense when you think about it. Goal 1, this ties into the BEAD program and infrastructure side. We know that we have to increase the availability and affordability of internet service, okay, throughout the state. Goal 2, we need to improve our digital skills as a state. 3, there are already, like I said a second ago, existing programs, existing efforts that are within state agencies and other nonprofits and other organizations across the state. So we need to help lift those up. For programs that are working, let's help to scale that. For programs that aren't working, maybe let's try to put that away and focus on things that do work and help expand and scale that here across the state. We know goal 4, we need to increase access to affordable digital devices. I know the way that it's currently designed, okay, we're not going to just give away devices. We would want to tie that to digital skills programming, okay? So if someone were to participate and complete a series of digital skills courses and programs, then they would have the ability to perhaps access a more affordable or reduced priced device. We don't just want to give things away. We think that it makes sense to have someone improve themselves in some manner. Now, we know that digital skills can vary from person to person. Some folks need to learn how to turn on a computer. Some folks need to learn how to navigate Google or apply for a job online. Other folks need to learn how to use their camera to see their doctor, right? So the different levels of digital skills that people need, but everyone, even myself, can improve. If you asked me to make sure that my devices were secure and had the proper cybersecurity on them, I wouldn't have a clue, probably. So even myself, I need to improve in areas. But the overarching goal between tying 4 and 2 together is that in order to access a more affordable device, we would want someone to complete some level of digital skills training. Okay. And lastly, goal 5, we need to continue to engage everyone and as many entities and folks that are willing to be involved in this process in the state's digital opportunity efforts. Okay, so we're going to continue to grow the ABLN. We're going to continue to add more partners and more stakeholders and everyone that wants to have a voice and be involved in this process, and we look forward to it. So goal 1, increase the availability and affordability of service. We have strategies that are kind of tied to each goal, right? So strategy 1, for increasing availability and affordability of service, we know that we need to connect 100% of our state's locations, our homes, our businesses, our community anchor institutions to the internet. And that's really more of a BEAD issue, but these plans are supposed to work together, so it's included in our strategies here. We need to continue to advertise and expand enrollment in the ACP program. There is, the FCC has stated very recently in the last week or so that they would project that the program could run out of money in the next several months, probably in April timeframe of that. But this week, a bill was introduced in Congress to refund ACP and extend the program. So whether an individual or an entity is pro-ACP or perhaps anti-ACP, that's okay. We would say that anyone who has a strong opinion either way, please voice those opinions to the congressional delegation. Let them know how you feel about that program, and we respect everyone's freedom of speech and opinion. And so, whether you agree with the program and feel that it needs to be expanded, or have a more negative view of it, that's okay too. But we would again encourage you to voice your opinion on that. Strategy 3, we want to explore partnerships with our municipal housing authorities to look at including affordable at-home internet service at our MDUs. Okay, that's something that we will look at In strategy 4, looking to create a temporary community mini-grant program to support the expansion of free Wi-Fi access at organizations that serve nearly everyone. 87% of the state's population are included within our covered populations. Okay, but we want to look and have a mini-grant program that would look at doing free Wi-Fi access across the state in certain organizations, again, that serve those covered populations. For goal 2, implementing digital skills training. We want to invest in core digital skills curriculum. Now, whether it's one curriculum and program or it's 10 curriculum and programs that have very similar foundational principles within them, our office would look to invest and sort of give our stamp of approval on different digital skills programs and work to have those programs adopted at libraries and community anchor institutions and partners across the state, and we will look to fund some of that work. As I said a second ago, there's already pre-existing stuff happening, right? So if the office and the state feels that those programs can show that they're making a difference in the lives of Arkansans and they're doing good work and have results to back it up, we would want to work to fund those and help scale those and improve those programs. We're also looking at working with industry partners. This is 3 and 4 kind of combined to look at agriculture-specific digital skills and also some digital skills that would be specific to healthcare, right, and small business applications. So trying to think more holistically, right? It's not just about learning Google or learning how to surf the web or learning how to do a job application, but also other more tailored concepts as well that we think are important for the state. Goal 3, we obviously want to leverage existing partners and programs, kind of hints back to the first one a second ago, whether it's a state agency, okay, or other partners and organizations across the state that are already doing this work. We need to invest in that and also make sure that we train our residents on how to use the services that are available to them already online. Okay, so we know that we need to work there, and we're going to do that. Goal 4, again, increasing access to affordable digital devices. We want to establish a device refurbishment campaign in the state and program using corporate partners, philanthropic partners, and workforce partners. We need to work to distribute, right, low cost and free devices for those folks covered in covered populations. But again, we got to do something for that. Okay, so we're going to say that our affordable device distribution programs are going to be tied to the completion of digital skills training. Again, from someone who needs to learn how to turn a computer on to myself who needs to learn more about cybersecurity and protecting my accounts. Everyone needs to improve, and so we'll work on that as well. Lastly, we know that we need to continue engaging with all interested Arkansans. Okay, so we're going to continue to regularly convene the ABLN and talk to folks on a bi-weekly basis and expand our outreach to as many stakeholders as possible. We also need to do a better job of talking about success stories of new connectivity and telling stories of success, in communities that weren't connected before and then got connected. What's been the impact, right? Let's talk about that. Let's go interview folks. Let's see how internet connectivity can change people's lives. Let's start talking about that more because we need to do a better job of that. We currently have Andrew is our AmeriCorps fellow. We need to make sure that we continue to have an AmeriCorps fellow within our program to make sure that we're executing and talking with you guys on a regular basis and are engaging with as many people as possible. So one of our goals is to make sure that we have the support and capacity within our team to make that happen for you. So that's a strategy for us. We want to produce what's called a digital resource guide for our stakeholders that outlines digital skills training classes that are happening, device programs that get off the ground, and make sure that everyone is aware of what's going on and the resources that are available to them, and update that on a regular basis so we have the most updated information available for the public. We need to make sure, not only, I know it says AR Connect applies for subsequent rounds of federal funding, but we need to make sure that entities that can apply for funding are aware of that. So we're going to make a concerted effort within this plan to ensure that not only our office, but other organizations around the state that can apply for broadband-related programs are aware of that and help push that to the forefront. And lastly, we know that a lot of folks have issues and customer service-related complaints a lot of times with their ISP providers. So we're going to work with our ISPs to work on additional education for the public and try to continue to bring folks together. That's been one of the hallmarks of this office, is bringing people together, talking through issues, And we'll continue to do that, and we'll look to expand that into customer service with our providers. I want to talk briefly about the implementation timeline for these efforts. As you'll see, they essentially expand from now till the end of calendar year 2030. And so we're going to work on this stuff and be able to fund these types of programs through 2030. We put a box around 2028, okay? That's our goal on the infrastructure side, okay? To get this thing built out and upgraded once and for all by the end of calendar year 28. Okay, that's our goal, to have all of our construction projects on the broadband side wrapped up, okay? So I wanted to highlight that for everyone. So really, end of 28, infrastructure, that's our goal, that's our push to our providers. By the end of 30 is when we have all these programs funded through that time frame. We can't do it by ourselves, and we know that. We don't plan to. So in the plan itself, you'll see we have a list of over 100 existing organizations, programs, and strategies across the state that can help support digital opportunity efforts moving forward. It's both public partners, it's private partners, and there is no doubt that we have missed some. So as you're looking through the plan, you're going to see that with the goals, there are strategies and action items. And also for each one, we list out potential partners, okay, in these goals and strategies and metrics. And so we're going to look to work with those folks, get them on board, and let them know that we have penciled them in as a potential partner. But again, we may have missed some. So as you're reading through this stuff, and you find that there are folks that we may have missed, right? Please let us know. Use the public comment form and give us as much feedback as possible. I know that was a lot, actually, very quickly. So what we'll do is we'll skip the questions for now. We'll come back to this. We'll move to the next meeting. So again, next meeting will be 2 weeks from today, from 10 to 11. That's going to be a generic office hours session. Again, we'll have some regular updates on what's the latest news and what's been going on. And that's the next meeting. So with that being said, we'll open up the floor for questions either in the chat box or raising your hand and asking a question. Again, we can talk about anything you want to talk about. It can be digital skills and opportunity plan related. We know that the challenge process, it wasn't today's topic, but we know that the mapping challenge process on the infrastructure side is a big deal right now. So you can ask questions about that or the plans or anything that you want to talk about. We'll open up the floor and we'll talk about those right now. So again, either chat box or raise your hand and we can address any issue that you want to talk about. Hey, Clara. Yeah, go ahead.
Good morning. When we start to do when we put together our plan, should we incorporate the whole county with the different organizations like library and a nonprofit to get all the work done together, or should it be separate plans for this little scenario and separate plans for this little scenario? Should it be a countywide organization ready to go so we can see what needs to be funded?
I would say that's a really good question. Look, I think, to be honest, I think it depends on what your plans are looking like. I think, I hate to give more of a generic response, but I think it's true. I think some of our county committees are going to say, yeah, we're going to work on a county-wide plan, right? I think other folks are going to say, maybe we don't go with a county-wide plan. Maybe there's certain municipalities who want to do their own thing, or certain organizations that want to do their own thing. I don't want to get in the neighborhood, or I don't want to put ourselves in the position of trying to like dictate to folks kind of what they should do. What I would say is, let us know what you're thinking and what's important to you, and we can, work on some recommendations for you. I think that's a better way to go. So because, again, everyone's going to kind of have different ideas, and that's fine. That's what we want. So depending upon kind of what you're thinking and are interested in, we would be able to provide recommendations to you, is how I would phrase that.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll submit a draft then, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, Bob, I know you had your camera on for just a second. I didn't know if you were getting ready to ask a question or. And if not, that's okay too. All right, we'll give it just a little bit longer. Again, I know we ran through the plan pretty quickly. Just want to put the 5 goals up again. If that interests anyone. In the follow-up email today on this program, Andrew will have, again, the times and exact locations of our 3 in-person events next week to talk about the plan in more detail. Thanks, Tim. Appreciate you. And also, remember, it's going to be a 2-feature meeting next week, right? So first half based on the plan, and we'll go into kind of some more details of it. The second half will be based on the challenge process. Thanks, Bob. Sure. Amanda, yes, the slides will be shared. Part of the email that goes out post these meetings, we include the slides, and we typically will also have some bullet points as well of information right from them, and so you can look forward to that later today. Lane, I know we did this earlier in the first meeting with the providers. You want to just do a brief, quick overview update on the latest kind of challenge portal updates for the folks. We can do that real quick for them and let them know kind of what are the latest updates for them on the challenge portal process.
Excuse me. Sure, Glenn. So where we are right now is we can't, let me just back up and say the schedule is that once we receive approval from the NTIA over initial proposal volume 1, following that, we will go live with a public map. The challenge map will be available to everybody on our website. And at that time, on the same day, you'll also, if you're an eligible challenger, you will be able to go ahead and register for the challenge portal. Again, that day is dependent on NTIA approval of our initial proposal volume 1, and we will transmit those dates to you just as they come. So the challenge map will be available along with the instructions for the challenge process for 1 week and at that point, challenges will begin in the challenge portal. So we're kind of a standby right now, waiting on information from NTIA when we can go live, and we'll share that information as soon as we have it. In the meantime, we continue to test the challenge portal. It's going well. Worked out a couple of bugs, added a couple of features, and we're going to be excited to show it off.
Yeah, thanks, Lane. Thank you very much. And look, just remind everyone, because I know we said it last week on our provider call. I'm not sure if we did it 2 weeks ago on this call. For any of our county committees, any organization, any person who wants to schedule a one-on-one with our team to look through the challenge portal, dig around a little bit, we're offering to do that for anyone. So any county committee, any official, any person, any entity that wants to have a one-on-one with our team, and we'll do a virtual call with you, and we will walk you through the portal and look at the map and what does it look like, and get you kind of a sneak peek before the process goes live. So we want to make sure that everyone is aware of that option, and so just let us know if you want to schedule some one-on-one time with our team. All right. Well, thanks for joining today on the Friday. Stay warm this weekend. Stay safe. Again, let us know if you have any questions or concerns. Text us, call us, email us, and we look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks on the next call. Have a good weekend. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.